sunshine! Welcome back to my channel, Alex in the Sunlight. I'm Alex and I'm so happy to see you. The purpose of today's video is to find out what makes you so attractive. Why are people so attracted to you? How do you attract the people that you do, right? So that's what we're going to be getting into in this video. If you like the reading, if it resonates with you, please like this video, subscribe so we can spend more time together. Follow me on Instagram at Alex in the Sunlight. I post daily readings there, so you don't want to miss that. And if you wouldn't mind considering becoming a patron over on my Patreon, all the info is down below, and it's a really great way to support this channel. I really appreciate it. Okay, so we've got 4 groups. Group 1, malachite. Group 2, calcite. Group 3, lapis lazuli. And group 4, citrine. So if you've already chosen your pile, that's totally fine, but if you could just humor me, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose, filling the chest and the belly with air. And as you breathe out, ask your spirit guides, ask your angels or your higher self to aid you in choosing the correct pile for you so that when you open your eyes, the one you're drawn to first is the right one. Okay, let's get started. Hi, group number 1, those of you who chose malachite. Okay, so what I'm getting for you guys right away is that overall why people are so attracted to you is because of your vibe, your personality. You have kind of an aura about you that's very alluring to a lot of people, and I really feel like you guys are very much so like regardless of your gender, like wifey material. Like I feel like there's lots of people who are attracted to you because they really want to like scoop you up. It's cuffing season right now, so I feel like you guys probably know what I mean. You guys are probably in relationships right now, or you tend to fall into relationships where you find somebody who really wants to like settle down with you. Because you guys are very like steadfast individuals, you're very loyal individuals. You are very passionate as well. Like I feel like a lot of you are fire signs, but I also feel like a lot of you are water signs. So, you know, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, or Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. So I feel like you guys have really open hearts. Like your heart center is definitely like open, and I feel like also you have a very nice balance in all of your chakras. Like I feel like all of it is being represented here, as you guys are just kind of like, you are safe to be around, you are easy to be around, you make people feel welcome. Some of you guys are kind of intense, and like I feel like a lot of you have very striking eyes, whether I feel like some of you have green eyes, or some of you just have like a very just kind of a stare that's like very like an intense gaze, but not like crazy, like your eyes aren't bugging out or anything, but like, you know, people just kind of like, there's some magnetism about you that draws people in, and it just makes them feel like, oh, you know, this person's the one. And I think it's just like, obviously people project onto you a lot of things, right? But I think you guys are just very well put together, and that doesn't necessarily mean appearance. Like you know, say you think that your life is in shambles, but the fact that you can like be self-aware or own mistakes or own wherever you are in your life, or own just like aspects of yourself and like admit to things, like that's a really just put together way of being. It just makes you really nice to be around, because so many of us are just kind of like, all over the place. But I feel like with you guys, you have passion and you have drive and you have focus, and that's attractive to people, especially people who like want to emulate that. The first card you've got is the Peacock. So you guys are most likely very, you know, conventionally attractive, conventionally beautiful, but that may put you on people's radar, but what keeps them there is like what's within. Like I said, you guys have a very like alluring energy because of your just there's like a nice vibe to you, and it just makes people want to be around you. You guys are probably very graceful in your mannerisms and in the way that you walk. You know, you might have just like a really great style, you know, and it's not necessarily, you guys probably don't dress too out of the box, but what you do is like very, very you, and it's like appreciated. Like people probably give you lots of compliments on what you wear and things like that. And the next card you've pulled from the Animal Spirit Tarot or Animal Spirit Guide deck, I'm sorry, is Gazelle. So again, like I feel like you guys are very graceful, and you're probably very observant and perceptive, right? And you probably pay attention when people speak to you. You're probably a really good listener, and then people feel safe to come to you and to confide in you because they know that you'll listen to them. And you probably, I also feel like you guys, you have like a very, like I said, like your vibe, like you have a down to earth kind of personality. Even though I know you guys have a lot of passion, I feel like you focus your passion on your, you know, your achievements or your goals and your pursuits, and that is also what attracts people to you. But specifically with your personality, I see you guys being very graceful, and that doesn't necessarily mean you have to like be walking around like a ballerina. Like even just how you handle things, maybe you have really great social skills, or a really nice voice to listen to, something like that. I'm just sensing like you guys are just like, you make really good company. Like people really want to be around you and probably like to emulate your style or your way of being. The next card you've pulled is Ace of Bows from the Wildwood Tarot deck, which is Spark of Life, or Ace of Wands in the Rider-Waite deck in the traditional tarot. But this is just letting me know, like I said, some of you guys are fire signs, but I just feel like this is that like a go-getter energy, but not like in a pushy way or in an abrasive way. Like I feel like you guys just, you're passionate about what you love and you know how to go after it, or you're not afraid to go after it, and you often succeed at what you do because you have so much passion behind it. That is definitely attractive to people, because how many of us, like so many of us, wish we had that kind of energy, right? So you guys are definitely very driven, and you probably have like really strong imaginations, and you are probably very, you know, very smart, and you put it to good use in that way. Like you put it into specific use, like you know what you want and then you go after it, and that's really attractive. And the next card you pulled from the same deck is Six of Arrows, transition in reverse. So a couple of things that I feel from this is like you guys probably aren't, while I know I keep saying you're passionate, I feel like you direct your passion in a very like specific way. I think that some of you guys are probably not too quick to get super emotional, and what I mean is like people probably like talking to you about whatever they're going through, because you can kind of just like stay level-headed or steady-minded. But I also feel like this also means for some of you that part of what makes you so attractive is you're not so quick to change, so you want to work on things. So you guys are probably much maybe not super easy to forgive, but like just maybe a little bit more quick to forgive than some people, because you're like, I don't want to just throw this relationship out for no reason, or not no reason, but like you are more likely to work on things with people. If you have a disagreement, or if somebody, you know, hurts you in some kind of way, you probably just like aren't the type of person who's just going to drop them like that. You're probably like a little bit more like, because you like things, you don't want to just like move from place to place or emotionally. that quick, you know, and it may make you a little bit stubborn, but that can also be an attractive quality. Like, you may attract people who tend to be impulsive, and so they're attracted to you because you have like a little bit more of a control over your impulses, because you know you like things that the way they are, and you don't necessarily want to just like give up on things, right? The next card you pulled from the Goddess Power Oracle is Artemis, focus. And to me, this is just reiterating with these two cards, like you have these new ideas and you go for it. Like, you're very driven and determined, and you know what you're doing, and you are good at it, and you're successful at what you do, when or whatever it is that you decide to do in the moment. But you're also probably not too quick to make sudden moves or sudden changes, and you're probably a little bit, you know, stubborn in that way. And I think that like it has to do with like your focus, like your ultimate focus is, you know, you've got like your eye on whatever it is that is your particular prize. Because I also feel like you guys are very unique people. You're very like individual, so you have, you know, your certain tastes and your certain individual likes and beliefs, and that's also very attractive. But you guys have like this way to zero your focus in on whatever it is that you've put your mind to, and that's also very attractive, because it's like you probably are able to really focus on a partner, right? When you've decided that, you know, somebody is worthy of your time and you actually are attracted to them as well, it's like you actually know how to be present with them, which is very attractive, right? The next card you pulled is Ain, adaptability in reverse. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. This is the first time I'm pulling this card in a reading, so. But this looks like this. This looks like this. I'm just realizing that. So with focus, Artemis, she's got a bow and arrow, right? With the Ace of Bows, a bow and arrow. So you've got the focus, you've got the drive, but then also the Six of Arrows in reverse, and this adaptability in reverse. It's funny, you don't really want to, you don't like change, you don't like sudden surprises, and that could make you attractive because, like I said, people want to like really partner with you. Like, they feel like they can count on you to be there. They feel like they can count on you to kind of really be in the relationship with them. And I know like a lot of, you know, popular belief is like everybody wants to be cool and like be like hard to get and like, you know, date around and stuff, which is totally fine as well. But I feel like with you guys, you have like this underrated quality of attractiveness, where what makes you attractive is like people actually wanting to like be with you, feeling like you are somebody who's like worth that time and that effort. You know what I mean? Which is really beautiful. But the next card you've pulled from the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle is Romantic Love. So that's just like what I'm saying, is like people want to just marry you. I keep wanting to say like people want to wife you up, but I know not everybody is like a wife. But regardless of how you identify, like people want to put a ring on it, basically. But the card says, the frequency of romantic love supports our journey to feel whole and complete through the experience and reflection of a conscious lover. So you are, to me, like, you are probably that conscious lover. You know, you guys are not only, you know, outwardly attractive, but like there's an aura, there's something that's coming out within you that just like brings people in and they don't want to leave. They just want to be with you, right? And the last card you've pulled ties into this one and this one pretty well, I think. Third eye chakra. Like I said, you're perceptive, you're intuitive, you know how to, you know, make somebody feel good. You know how to make people feel welcome. And you probably, you know, are empathic and intuit your environment and the people in your environment and how they're feeling, and you probably just like know how to make people feel like, you know, you are somebody who's safe to be around. But the card says, the frequency of the third eye chakra, the indigo flower of life, supports our intuition and our inner knowing, our imagination, and our psychic powers. Right. So you guys are just like these sorcerers that like are out here just like emanating these really alluring vibes, and just like that's what's making you attractive, is like your auric fields and your personality, which is really awesome. All right, that's all I've got for you guys, group number 1. Please let me know if the reading resonated for you. Let me know down below if it's like, if I hit the nail on the head. Like, are you guys like this type of person? Are you, you know, are people constantly trying to, you know, ask you to marry them? Okay, thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy with me. I really appreciate it. The magic in me honors the magic in you. Be well. Bye. Hi, group number 2, those of you who chose calcite. All right, so for you guys, I'm seeing, first of all, that you've got an extra card. 3 came out of the deck for you guys. So you guys are really, not just because of the extra card, but you guys are really special. You're very dynamic. You have very dynamic personalities, and that is what attracts people to you, is that you are very brave. You are very, you have high energy, I feel like. And I also feel like you guys have like an authoritative energy, a convicted energy. Like, I feel like you guys know what you're doing. You've been through a lot, so that makes you relatable. Like, I feel like you've been through so many things, and you are open to helping others with whatever they're going through, which makes you attractive. Like, people want to be with you or be around you because they feel like, you know, you got this. You know what I mean? There's like a sense of confidence about you that has come from experience and like going through it and then coming out like better for it. And I feel like you have like an enthusiasm for life based on that. You guys are very like I feel like your heart is open, and I feel like you're very loving towards your family and towards the people around you, which also makes you attractive because you're not like aloof. Like, you don't have to pretend to be cool. Like, you love who you love, and like you don't mind, you know, being affectionate and things like that. You have a really big heart, which is really attractive. It's underrated, but it's super attractive. And I think that you guys embrace a lot of the parts of life that other people tend to be afraid of, which makes you attractive. Like, I feel like you guys embrace change, you embrace duality, and you've kind of like gone through things that have just opened your mind and made you more like aware and self-aware, and that self-awareness has brought you lots of confidence, which makes you attractive. So I feel like that's overall what makes you attractive, is like that confidence, that like that attitude of just knowing who you are, and like, and being open to change and like whatever comes your way. Like, that's like a sense of adventure, I feel like, that a lot of people are attracted to. But getting into the cards, the first card you've pulled is Panther. So I feel like people are attracted to, like I said, your bravery and kind of like your willingness to just go through things or go after things that a lot of people may be afraid of, or your ability to kind of just handle and take with a grain of salt whatever life throws at you and come out still feeling positive. Because you've also got the Frog card here. So you guys are definitely the type of people who, you know, people probably want to nurture you, probably want to help you to feel better, but you're probably the type of people who just like want to shake it off and just like want to get back out there and just you have this enthusiasm for life. So you probably attract people who are kind of the opposite of you in that way to like balance you out. Like maybe caretaking type of individuals are very attracted to you because they see that you're just like, you're so fierce, that you don't really, stop to try and like figure out too much of your emotion. You're just like, you're definitely emotional, but you lead with your emotions in a different way. They're like, I feel like you guys, like I said, you've been through stuff, but you came out wiser, so you tend to focus on that more, which makes you really positive, which is a very attractive trait. But like I said, you've been through some things and you've come out wiser. You've got the green man here, which is the emperor in traditional tarot. And the emperor is seen as kind of like a father figure, as somebody who like provides, and as somebody who people like go to because he is like the wise one. Like he's here to like teach, and like I said, there's like an authoritative aspect to his personality. But if you see like the imagery is this green man and he's at this cauldron and he's like brewing something, and there's like an air of mystique about that. It's like, what are you working on? What are you working on? What are you doing, right? So I think that's another reason why people are attracted to you, is because they feel like you know what you're doing, or you know so much, like you, and your mind is very dynamic. So they're probably very attracted to your mind and the way that you view the world, because you've also got the 10 of Vessels here, the happiness card. So like I said, you've been through things, but it didn't like cause you to become a pessimist. Like you're probably very optimistic, and you're smart about it. I don't think that you guys are foolish in any way. I feel like you're just you choose optimism over negativity, and that's very attractive. And like I said, you've got like this open heart, and I feel like you guys love, and like it feeds your emotional body to just like be surrounded by love, be surrounded by loved ones, right? So that attracts people to you because they just want to love you, right? The next card you pulled is Maya from the Goddess Power Oracle. She represents illusion in reverse. So I think that, part of this is, like I said, with your mind. You guys have gone through some stuff where maybe you were living in an illusion, or you've had like experiences where you needed to cultivate self-awareness, and I feel like you've done that work. And being so aware of yourself, like I said before, has imbued you with a confidence that makes you very attractive. And you guys have been through some stuff, so it makes you relatable. Like I said, like for instance, you've got the next card you've got is Morrigan, Death and Magic in reverse. So you guys have been through some things. Maybe you found this bravery through fear. Like maybe you had to go through fear to find your courage and to find your strength. You might have been resistant to, the natural cycle of life and death in the past. You might have been resistant to letting things go, but I feel like for a lot of you, you have done the work to get over this, or not get over it, but like you've done the work through that kind of thinking, and now you've come out on the other side so much wiser. But you also have empathy. You have empathy, and you are relatable. So people are attracted to you because they feel like, they can relate to you, and you know what they're going through. And seeing you be as fierce and as, enthusiastic as you are about life, having gone through what you've been through, is very attractive. And another thing, like the next card you've got is Mary, and she represents miracles. So I'm thinking like with her here and this green man, the emperor, I feel like you guys are master manifestors. So you probably, attract the people in your life that you want to attract, right? You probably put out the signals and then they just like come flock to you, right? Which it's doubly attractive, because it's like on the one hand, you're putting those vibes out there and receiving it back like you want. And then on another hand, it's like we are all in some kind of a way attracted to people we see manifesting what they want out of life, even if that's just a more positive mindset, because we ourselves want some of that magic. And I think that you guys like have a magic around you that's very attractive. Like this imagery is just so ethereal almost, and like especially up here, like you guys probably have like a wild heart or like a wild essence about you that's very attractive to people, especially people who are kind of like more on the fearful side or don't really like change, and then they see you and you're embracing change and you're like you're super brave and you're just like going for what you want and you're letting go of illusions. Like all of that is very attractive. But like I said, the next card you've got is change from the Sacred Geometry Oracles. And this card says, the frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and birth the new. Right, you guys have gone through stuff and you come out of it so much better. And there might be people who've seen you go through these changes and saw how like triumphant you became and were attracted to you because of that, because they saw that like, wow, that person's really powerful and they can embrace change and they can go through changes and come out on top, which is super attractive because there's lots of people who are very like just obstinate. They want no change. They're like, I'm not doing any of that. So maybe you guys are like a mutable sign, which, you know, if you're a Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius, Gemini, you're probably very creative, right? You're probably like able to turn whatever it was that you've been through into like something beautiful, right? Like turning lemons into lemonade, which makes you attractive. So, and I feel like a lot of you guys are travelers as well. So you probably meet people from different places that are like attracted to you because you're so different from them, right? And the last card you've pulled is Soul Time, which is going back to what I said about you guys having a wisdom. I think that there's like a magic about you where people feel like, you know, you yourself are like some kind of oracle and like you transcend space and time and like, you know, just being this powerful and being this courageous and being this enthusiastic while also having an open heart is a really like rare thing. So I feel like, you know, your uniqueness is also what's making you attractive. But the card says, the frequency of soul time asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge, one that embraces the concept that while the corporal body is mortal, the soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. So another thing I'm getting from this is that some of you guys are kind of old souls who've been here, and that may be like what you've been through is not necessarily everything happened in this lifetime, but just throughout the lifetimes. And so you've come to this incarnation and you're just so, you know, ready to embrace the change and ready to embrace life and whatever obstacles come your way, right? Because you've been here before. So maybe you get people who are attracted to you because they've known you before in past lives, or maybe you find people feel like they've known you before or have told you, like, I feel like we've known each other forever, or you know, people come up to you and they're like, do I know you? Or they mistake you for someone else and they think they've met you in another place. Like that could be it. That makes you so attractive. But overall, what I feel like for you guys is like your mind is very attractive. Like, you know, your attitude and your outlook on life is very attractive, which is like a really cool, a really cool way to attract people, because they really are attracted to you and your essence. But that's all I've got for you guys. Group number 2, please let me know if it resonated down in the comments. Let me know if you know, this sounds right or if it's like completely bogus, whatever it is. I want to hear about it. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy with me. I really appreciate it. The magic in me honors the magic in you. Be well. Bye. Hi, group number 3, those of you who chose lapis lazuli. Okay, so right away, what I'm sensing for you guys is that I'm very surprised if you're not a water sign or if you don't have a lot of water in your chart. But if you don't, that's totally fine. I feel like you guys, what makes you so attractive is that like watery energy, that creative energy. You're very creative, you're very sensual. You probably dress in a very like, some of you dress provocatively and some of you are just like kind of exuding a kind of sense, a sensual aura, like a sensual, you're just, your whole vibe is probably very sensual, and like that's definitely attractive to a lot of people. I think that you guys, most of you are very like striking to look at, or maybe not even striking, but just like your style accompanied with your like unique features, and the way that you carry yourself is makes you very attractive. And then on top of that, when people get to know you, they find out that you're like this really creative person, you know, that you have like such an open heart. Like I feel like you guys are very compassionate and you lead with emotion first. So you guys are probably just like attractive people because you are also attracted to people. Like I think that you guys are very, very well versed in like, you know, romance. Like I feel like you guys are probably, you probably date often, or you know, you've had many partners and they've all just been very enamored of you because it's like you've just got such an interesting mystique about you too. You've got some mystery about you too. Like I feel like people kind of spend a lot of time or just spend some time trying to get to know you and then walk away feeling like maybe they haven't gotten to know you. Like I feel like, you know, you can be full of surprises and full of just like that emotional passion. Like I feel like, you know, you have just like this bleeding heart, and like you attract people who are also kind of swept up in emotion, and you guys have these like very intense and very like real connections, and it just like sweeps both of you like off your feet. Like I feel like you guys are just, it's hard to pinpoint, or it's hard to find the words to say, because it's like I'm seeing a bunch of images. Like I'm like seeing you guys walk around and people just like kind of like turn to look at you, and they maybe don't even really know why, but they just want to go over and talk to you. And then like when they do, it's like this whole other thing. Like I feel like you guys, when you get into little relationships and things of that nature, because I also get the feeling you can't be pinned down, but when you do get into these little relationships, I feel like they're like chapters of your life. Like you have, every person has their own specific little space in your heart, which can be really attractive to people who like getting themselves into those types of situations, right? Who want to be like another chapter in the magnificent book of your life, right? Another thing I'm getting is a lot of you are artists, a lot of you are musicians. I really feel strongly that a lot of you are musicians, or some of you are musicians, artists, painters, writers, things of that nature. You guys are very creative, and that is a huge part of why people are attracted to you, because they're attracted to your work and how you express yourself through your creativity. I feel like some of you are actually well known, and that is what makes people attracted to you, because they've seen you on like Instagram or something. They've seen you maybe at a show or at a gallery opening, I don't know, something of that nature, and they've wanted to know who you are. And then, you know, if they get to find out, it's like, oh my God, this thing. But if they never get to find out, it's like always something on their mind, like in the back of their mind, like I wonder what it would be like to be with that person, right? But the first card you've pulled is a Scorpion, so I wonder if some of you guys are Scorpios. But like I said, this is just like letting me know, like, you guys are very mysterious, but you've also got this kind of fierce fearless energy. Like I feel like you guys are very wild, you're very free. And like I said before, that's why I feel like you guys can't be really tied down. Like you are very much so the type of people, I think, to get swept up in the emotion of the moment and like and feel your way through things, because you've also got the sea serpent here. And so it's like you guys are very intuitive. You feel through things, and I don't feel like you guys have a lot of, like, it's almost like you're shameless, like you're fearless, like you're just, you go at it, you let whatever happens happen, because it's more important to you to lead with your feelings and your intuition and how something makes you feel than to lead with what should be done, or what conventions are like happening or at play. What, like, you're like, what rules? There's no rules to this, right? You guys are very open-minded in that way, and I feel like you guys own your sexuality. Like I feel like you guys are very sexual people, you're very sensual people, and you own it, you embrace it, you don't mind. I feel like some people try to hide those aspects of them, but I feel like you guys are very comfortable with your bodies, you're very comfortable with your body and your sexuality. I feel like you guys know that you are attractive and you are cool with that. Like you know that people are attracted to you, and it's like you're comfortable with that. But I also feel like you guys sometimes just like are so compassionate and so emotional that you attract people who just kind of like want to take advantage of your kindness and of like your strength almost, because you guys are very strong people. You're very emotional, but you're very strong in your emotions, and you're like convicted through your emotions, because you've got the Queen of Vessels here, or the Queen of Cups. So it's like you're compassionate and you're open-hearted, but I'm also feeling like for some of you, you've been burned before, so you like see it coming from a mile away, and you're way more choosy about who you engage with, because you will attract people who inevitably, like I said, are just trying to like take advantage of like all of the magnificence that is you, basically, whether it's like your name, because I feel like some of you guys are a little bit known or like well known, or your creativity, like if people try to emulate your style and the way that you're doing whatever it is that you're doing, or just trying to like have you be there for them emotionally. And the next card you've got is the Seven of Bows, or the Seven of Wands in traditional tarot. So it's like you guys work hard for what you're doing, whatever it is that you're doing. If you are known, it's not for no reason. Like, you've worked hard at this, you're really talented, you're really capable. And I feel like sometimes you attract people who are attracted to like that capability or that artistry. Like they it's like they want to be you and be with you. Like I feel like some of you guys attract like jealousy in a way, like people who can get a little possessive over you or jealous of you, because they're just like, so it's like they get lost in their admiration for you because of just like how great you are. Like, I don't want it to sound like flippant, but it's like you were just, this person, and you're out here and you're living your life and you're making these moves, and then you attract people who are like, I want that. And it's like, it's almost like they can't tell if they want you or if they want to be you, like I said, or if they just want the whole life that you have. And then next card you pulled is Mama Cocha in reverse. So, right, like I said, I'm surprised if some of you aren't water signs, because this is like goes back to what I was saying with the Queen of Vessels. It's like you guys are open. You're like a bleeding heart. You have such open hearts. You're very compassionate. People's stories matter to you, and that makes you attractive, because people want to confide in you. They want to get close to you. They want to like you to be their like, their everything, almost like their best friend, and also their lover, and also like just, you know what I mean, their mentor. Like, you have such a capacity to love and be loving that people are drawn to. that. And you've got also the yi, the sun here in reverse. So, you know, with that, it's like I said, some of you guys are known, like you shine so brightly, and bright lights attract bugs sometimes. So for some of you, you attract people who, like I said, have like a little bit of a jealous energy to them because you're just so, you like I said, you're unique looking, your attitude and your personality is unique, and what you do for a living or what you do with your life is very unique, and people like are attracted to just your luminescence, basically, because you very much so shine. Like I said, I highly doubt you walk into any place and people aren't looking at you, right? Like they're just like curious about you, even if you know are just wearing whatever that day. It doesn't necessarily have to be with have to do with what you look like. It's just like your whole vibe is like people want to know what's going on with that person. You know what I mean? And as far as when people actually get to know you, then your mind is like, it blows them away even more. They're like, how does this person look this way, do this stuff, and think this way? Because you've also got the card of perception. So it's funny because this card has a lot of the different colors that are in this deck, but a lot of it is blue. So like I said, a lot of you guys are artists. But either way, it's like you that wildness about you, that freedom that you have, like your open mind, that's what people are attracted to as well. But the card says, the frequency of perception supports our natural curiosity, moving us beyond our comfort zone to find the edges of what we perceive as real and to take a good, hard, deep look at it. Right, you make people think, even if they haven't spoken to you, even if it's like because you wore something kind of like I said, provocative that day. You make people think. And so you're on their mind. And that's what is also making you attractive, because they're just like, why am I even, like, why can't I get this person out of my head? Right? And the last card you pulled is authority. So this kind of wraps it all the way up. Like, people are attracted to you because you are unabashedly who you are. You have authority over your life. You know what you want. You know who you are. You don't try to hide it. You are a master at whatever medium it is that you're using to express yourself. And you do all of that with a kind of like loving energy that makes people feel like, you know, they can be around you and they can talk to you. So it's not like you're unreachable or you're untouchable, but it's like you're also very strong and very fierce. And so people are just kind of attracted to you because they just don't even know what's going on. Like they're just like, oh my God, who is this person? So that's a really, like, you guys are very powerful. So I'm really interested to know. Let me know down below if this resonated. Let me know what it is that you do. If you are an artist, like, let me know what's going on, because you guys are very, very interesting. Okay? That's all I've got for you guys. Group number 3. Let me know if it resonated down in the comments below. I'm super interested to know, okay? Thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy with me. I really appreciate it. The magic in me honors the magic in you. Be well. Bye. Hey, group number 4, those of you who chose citrine. Okay, so what I'm getting right away, what I'm sensing from you guys is that what makes you attractive is like your kind of like your beginner's mind. I feel like a lot of you guys seem very like ethereal and magical and almost innocent and kind of like childlike. Like, I feel like people are attracted to you because you remind them of what it's like to go back to that childlike innocence or that childlike wonder, right? I feel like you guys are very even-tempered and probably just really easy to get along with. Like, you guys are probably very easy to love, which makes you attractive. And you're very like airy and kind of, like I was saying before, like ethereal, magical. Like, I feel like you guys are like the wood nymphs of this group, or like you guys are like the fairies of this group. There's like a magic about you that makes people attracted to you, and then they want to like almost like protect you. Like I feel like you attract a lot of people who see you and recognize your light, or recognize your innocence, and they see it as something that is like sacred and needs to be protected. And like, you know, you are very special to a lot of people. I think you, or if you don't feel that way now, you will be. Like your personality is very rare, and that's also what makes you attractive, is like people don't come across your kind of sincerity or your kind of view of the world very often. Okay? But the first card you've pulled from the Animal Spirit Oracles is Butterfly. So to me, this is you. Like you are just like, I feel like some of you guys are undergoing currently a personal transformation that is making you attractive as well. I feel like maybe some people have seen where you started and are seeing where you are at now, and that makes you attractive because they're like, wow, this person is really going for it, or they've learned so much, or they've come so far, and that makes you attractive. But I feel like you guys just kind of like embody, like, when it's that feeling you get when you're outside and you see a butterfly. It doesn't happen all the time, and when you do, you're just kind of like, wow, that was really nice. I think that's what it's like when you kind of walk into a room or you go somewhere, is like people are seeing a butterfly and they're just like, oh right. It's like you remind people of just uh simple beauty in the world, like just feeling awe, feeling wonder, not because something crazy happened, but simply because you got to witness a part of nature that you don't see all the time. Or, you know, it reminds you of when you were a kid and you were like super into butterflies, you're super into going outside and things like that. And it it's just kind of solidified with dragonfly here. So you've got butterfly and dragonfly, which is another kind of insect that it just, for some people, they might be afraid of it. But I feel like most of the time when you see things like this out in nature, you're just kind of like, oh wow, you know, I don't see that all the time. Like I feel like even if people are kind of put off by your innocence or your view of the world or how ethereal you are, they are still attracted to you because they're just like, what is this? Like I don't understand this. And it you probably make people think about, you know, their own childhood or their own maybe jadedness. Like I feel like, you know, you are kind of this effervescent person, and maybe people who are a little bit jaded or are a little bit lacking in some light are attracted to you because it's like moths to a flame, right? And the next card you've pulled is interesting. It's the Journey in reverse, which is the Death card in traditional tarot. So, like I said, you guys are going, you have gone through or are currently going through a personal transformation, a deep transformation. And you are coming out as the butterfly, but it's like that learning and that growth is changing you into being just an even more strong and like vivacious version of who you are. Like I feel like you guys are coming out with like this knowledge that is like imbuing you with like a steadiness that makes you really attractive. Like I said before, you're really easy to get along with. You're really easy to be around. You don't ask too much of people, I feel like. And I don't think that you guys are super like intense. You're just kind of like here and just like airy, and like, you know, like your head is like lovingly in the clouds. Like I mean that in the best way possible. And it's attracting, it's really attractive because a lot of people are kind of like down here and just like dropped into heavy stuff, right? And so you just are kind of like a breath of fresh air almost. And the next card you pulled from the Wildwood Tarot is the same as this one, is Balance. So, which is Temperance in the traditional tarot. So you're patient. and you're even-tempered, and you're probably very fair, which goes back to what I said, you're easy to be around. So people feel, they feel good being around you. They probably feel really comfortable being around you because they're just like taking in that kind of easy breezy energy that you have, and it's probably like a tonic to their nerves almost, because a lot of us, we're in environments that are very stimulating and not in the best ways a lot of the times. And so to be around somebody who can be so calm and so cheerful and so light is nice, because, we're just here and we're having a nice time. And I feel like people are attracted to you because of that. I also feel like you guys probably look very unassuming and very innocent. You probably have, like, some of you have delicate features and kind eyes that make people very comfortable with you, or that make people like, want to like hug you and like cuddle you and like, run around in a meadow with you, like, or hold your hand. I feel like people let their guards down with you, which makes you attractive, because they can just kind of easily be who they are. And you probably open their minds without realizing it as well. But the next card you've got from the Goddess Power Oracles is Isis, Rebirth in Reverse. So maybe in the past, you guys have been through some stuff because of this kind of innocence. Like, maybe you've been hurt because you were like coming into situations kind of wide-eyed and bushy-tailed and not really realizing what was going on, and that may have left you feeling a little bit hurt. But like I said, you're going through a very powerful transformation where you're not going to lose that sincerity or that genuine nature. It's just going to be more like fortified with wisdom as well, which definitely makes you attractive. Because if you can find that balance, right, between being compassionate and kind and generous and open-minded and open-hearted, with being strong and convicted and, able to discern, right? If you also have discernment with that level of fairness and kindness, you've just like gone to a whole other level. So I feel like that's also what attracts people to you, because that's very rare. A lot of people will be one or the other. And I think that you guys are coming into the space where like you are both, and you've found that balance, and you've mastered like that combination in a way. Because the next card you've got is Persephone, and she represents inexperience. So it's just kind of like calling back to what I was saying about you having like an innocence about you. Not necessarily like, you guys are just so innocent, like you never done anything. It's just more so like there's an unassuming nature about you. There's not all this false pretense, right? So it's disarming. You're attractive because like you disarm people with your sincerity and your generosity and your genuine nature, and you're willing to learn. Like, I feel like people are attracted to you because they feel like they can teach you something. People love teaching. Like, even when you say like, because teaching doesn't always just mean like we're in a class and I'm pointing at a board. Like, just, I feel like you're the type of person where you ask someone like, what's that? And it's something that really means a lot to them, and now they have an opportunity to talk about it, and then you walked away learning from it. Like, you guys are just that curious, open-minded type of person, and that attracts people to you because they're just like, oh, it makes you easy to be around. And they know that they can come to you and be like, look at this thing, and you're going to actually care about it, like you're a caring person and you're genuine, you're sincere. Like, when you ask someone how they are, you want to know. You'll sit there and you'll wait for the answer, and you really do want to know, which is, like I said, rare. So you guys are very, very special. You're very special, you're very magical, and that's what's attracting people to you. And you make them think, you open their minds, because the next card you've pulled is consciousness. So I feel like you take people back. You take them back. You remind them of childhood. You remind them of their beginner's mind when they were much more open to life, or they were much more open to different views of life or different opinions, and they were more curious, and they stopped and smelled the flowers, and they, stopped and looked up at the sky and just thought, like, oh, I wonder how far that goes, or whatever it is. Like, we ask these childlike questions when we're little, and then slowly, with experience in life, we just kind of like, a lot of us lose that wonderment, and I feel like you bring it back for a lot of people, which attracts them to you. But the card says, the frequency of consciousness supports our ability to focus our attention on all the multidimensional aspects that show up so that we can include them in our reality. Right, so you draw focus to things seen and unseen. Like I said, stopping and just watching a butterfly go by and like realizing how special that moment can be, like, oh my god, I just saw a butterfly. Like, that's what you do for people, and they're attracted to you for it. You probably, you're the type of person to make people really feel like they've just fallen in love, you know what I mean? And the last card you've pulled is Gaia. So, like I said, you guys remind me of like a wood nymph or a fairy or something like that. Like, it's like I just like see you guys like running through a meadow or something, or gardening, or watering the plants in your home. Like, I feel like you guys just have that kind of like earthy and airy aura about you, and it's like you're probably very in tune with nature. You're probably very good with animals. Like, you guys are almost like Snow White in a way. But the card says, the frequency of Gaia reminds us that we are infinitely connected to one another, just as we are to our great mother and to the universe that birthed us all. Right. You remind people, like I said, of their beginner mind. Like, you remind people that we are connected. You remind people that there are sincere people in the world, there are fair people in the world, there are even-tempered and genuine people in the world. And I feel like you guys are just really beautiful people in that way, and that's what makes you so attractive, which is very special. You're very special, so I hope you know that. Okay, group number 4, that's all I've got for you guys. I hope it resonated. Please let me know in the comments down below if it did. I really like to hear about it. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy with me. I really appreciate it. The magic in me honors the magic in you. Be well. Bye.